My quarter-life crisis made me do it. I just turned 23, graduated this past spring, and began my first real job out of college not too long ago. On top of this, I, like most people my age, struggle to balance this on top of relationships, trying to get to the gym consistently, and eating a healthy diet. At the beginning of this year, I was entering my last semester of college, and in addition to this, I was working 10 hours a week on my senior design project. Like clockwork, I would wake up at 7, straight to the gym, shower, get ready and walk to my classes, and rinse and repeat. I would try to fit in work in between when I could, commuting to the location where we were building our project and then commuting back just to finish up my classes, the latest of which ended at 7:30 p.m. every Monday. While I was at school, I honestly felt pretty lonely. I had roommates and have always considered them very close friends, and I was part of a larger friend group, but outside of my roommates, a lot of people in my friend group had grown apart from me or vice versa. To make matters even more stressful, one of my friends called the night before the semester and said he would be moving out of our apartment because he was dropping out of our college to pursue a different degree. And due to our college over-admitting, we were guaranteed to have a random roommate in our senior year. This whole situation put a massive strain on me mentally. I felt stuck, and I felt like I was alone, but not always by my choice. I persisted and pushed through this initial period, but constantly found myself fighting just one more day. On top of this, my school was apparently situated in Antarctica because I would literally get thrown around by winds and have to walk 20 to 30 minutes from my apartment just to get to class in almost always freezing temperatures. Eventually, it was spring, and I remember the sun coming out. The weather wasn't so much of a problem anymore, but of course, now my major, being mechanical engineering, was not about to slow down. Oh no, it ramped up, and I even pushed myself to go into work on my group project even more because I knew that if I could just finish this strong and do well, I would finally feel accomplished. When the demonstration day came, my project was one of the leaders. People from all the different fields of engineering were coming over. They were looking at it, and I remember hearing things like, "They got this in the bag. They're definitely winning." Towards the end of the day, my parents and my girlfriend came to see what I've been working on, and supposedly, it brought my dad to tears from how proud he was. The day came to a close with the typical awards first presenting to disciplines like civil and environmental engineering and making their way to computer science and eventually finishing with mechanical engineering. They announced the third place winners. They weren't us. They announced the second place winners. They still weren't us. Then they announced the first place winners. But before they did, they prefaced it saying that they couldn't decide between the two teams who happened to be sponsored by the same company. As you may have guessed, I was one of those teams, and in that moment, I felt the most proud and blessed to have achieved something that I felt like was the culmination of all my years of education, from pre-K to that single moment in my last year of college. The week after was graduation, and I was relieved to be finishing college. If you're an engineering student, you know the pain. But on the inside, I felt numb. I was relieved, but I didn't feel happy. And honestly, I just felt anxious. Since then, 4 months have passed, and honestly, the anxiety continued to mount. Certain friends got hired with higher salaries doing the same work as me. Others were working part-time or not at all, able to freely use their days for whatever they may want to do. For me, I personally was working 7 to 4 every single weekday, and it felt like I was just a robot. Going to work, going to the gym, coming back home, going to sleep, and then doing it all over again. When I heard how awesome everyone else's lives seemed to be, hearing all this caused me anxiety because I looked at my friends and I saw that each of them had something that I felt like I was missing. Maybe it was more money, maybe it was more time, but ultimately this led me to my quarter-life crisis, which I'm still recovering from. I know this is a very personal story with a lot of twists and turns, but I think it helps demonstrate something that a lot of us share in common. We compare too much, which makes us lose sight of what we want for ourselves and what goals we want to accomplish. This is my first video here, and frankly, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I want to build something new that helps me reflect in the future on what I was going through and what I did to overcome it. I also have always had a passion for YouTube, but never really knew what I wanted to make my videos about, or always got caught up in the planning portion. This time, I realized that starting and correcting courses later is far better than sitting on the sidelines and watching the years fly by. For all of you that made it to the end of this video, please leave a comment and subscribe for more videos like this, and thank you for watching.